Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. My name's Alex and this is Make It Good. Last night, the Vinegar Syndrome Halfway to Black Friday sale just started right at midnight and 1. And I got a bunch of stuff, was very happy with my purchases. Spent a little more than I think I originally planned to, but I had been saving up for it, so I don't feel too bad about that. But this video is kind of an impromptu video. I didn't exactly know which movies were going to be on sale. I knew not everything was going to be on sale, like Criterion does when they do their flash sales. This sale's running through the whole weekend, so a lot of the newer releases on sale. I'm sorry, a lot of the newer releases are not on sale. But I did want to do this video this morning just so that anyone who, maybe wants some recommendations of things that, they maybe not have considered. I grabbed a few of the movies that I did double check and see that they were on sale. And so I just wanted to run through these real quick in order of availability. So we're going to go the most available to the least available, and I'm going to refresh as I do this video. I'm going to try to get it up as quickly as possible so that, if you catch it, you can maybe get what you want. All right, so without further ado, the first video that I'd like to recommend is The Long Walk, which is one of the earliest Vinegar Syndrome films that I picked up. This was directed by Matty Doe, and it comes out of Laos. In fact, I think this is notable because this is the first movie directed by a woman to come out of Laos. Which is a big deal, and I really, really enjoyed this movie. It deals with some time travel elements, but it's also it's a very, very different time travel movie. This guy who is basically a scavenger, is able to interact with his younger self, and he also has the ability to talk to ghosts. And there's this ghost of this young woman who he discovered as a child, who kind of hangs around him, and it's really all about butterfly effect and how very small changes can drastically affect your life moving forward. So if you're really into butterfly effect type movies, this is a fantastic one. The first time I watched it, I wasn't completely sure how I felt about it. I enjoyed it, but I really needed to sit with it for a while to really figure it out. It does play a little fast and loose with time travel rules, I think a bit. There were some questions up in the air, but I think as a story overall, it worked extremely well. Right now, and I'm going to go ahead and refresh, the slipcover is available. And this is available 1,246 copies left of the slipcover. And I am going to go by slipcover as opposed to slipcover and the standard release, just in the interest of time. So that's The Long Walk. I definitely recommend it. All right, this next release is a documentary. It's one that I watched fairly recently, a couple of weeks ago, and that is Scream Queen. I've been talking this one up a lot to anyone who will listen. This is all about Mark Patton. He was the star of the second Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and this is really all about how his life was affected, not just by that movie, but about the AIDS crisis at the time, about living his life as a gay man in Hollywood, and how that affected his ability to get roles, but also, how the stress of that, how being turned into a scapegoat when Nightmare on Elm Street, the second one, Freddy's Revenge, did not do very well. It was kind of put on his shoulders, and he unfairly didn't, he didn't think it was fair, and with good reason. This gets really emotional at times. He does confront different members of people who worked on the film, cast members, the director, the writer. Most notably, he meets the writer directly, and they have a conversation. And this documentary really hit me a lot harder than I thought it was going to. Especially by the end when he starts to come to certain realizations. But absolutely can't recommend this documentary enough. And we will refresh. And this slipcover, which is amazing, by the way, it is a die cut slipcover. has 312 copies left, so it's available just under. You can get this for $18. Definitely worth $18. All right, this next movie I haven't watched since I purchased it, but I did watch it in theaters, and that is Hearts Beat Loud. This film stars Nick Offerman, Kiersey Clemons, and Toni Collette. And it's about it's a very slice of life daughter father movie. Nick Offerman stars. He's a guy who owns a record store that's having struggles keeping afloat. And if you've recently picked up Vinyl Nation, which came out last month from Vinegar Syndrome, a lot of people have been talking about that documentary. This would be a very, very good companion piece with that. He basically wants to see his daughter succeed, but in the things that he wants her to succeed. And she's going down a more traditional route. And it's that kind of struggle of, what actually constitutes success? What is, what will bring us happiness in life? Fantastic movie. I loved it when I saw it. I really want to check it out again at some point. It's right there in my watch pile. But let's go ahead and check to see. I'm going to go ahead like the others and refresh. And right now, at the time of recording, there are 181 copies of Hearts Beat Loud with the slipcover remaining. So I would definitely jump on it. All right, so the next movie that I wanted to recommend that I picked up a little while ago from Vinegar Syndrome, and that is Blood on Her Name. This stars Bethany Ann Lind, who plays a mother who is trying to cover up a murder and does one of the worst things you can do, which is bring the body to the family, because obviously they're going to want to know what happens. But she does it because she feels very guilty about what's going on. She's got a very complicated life. She's a single mother. She has a son who has a lot of trouble at school and is like just on the borderline of going to prison himself. And so she's trying to keep him out of this whole situation as much as she can. This goes to some incredible places. Things go wrong like every other scene. Her father is a sheriff, and so, she doesn't want the sheriff to know either, and she's got issues with her father. So on top of it, there's a ton of family drama that works out really well, but absolutely, this movie was fantastic. And right now, this movie is sitting at, refresh that. We are looking at 118 copies left of Blood on Her Name, if you want the slipcover. So there you go. All right, this next film, my next recommendation is actually a movie I just saw a few days ago, and that is The Grave. This was done by the Pate brothers. And this is a really good, it's actually really well watched with Blood on Her Name, because it's another crime movie where things are just going wrong and people are just trying to keep everything together. Basically, two guys in prison find out of a buried treasure hidden in a grave. And so they break out of prison, they go on the run. Things immediately go wrong. They meet with a friend of theirs that they can barely trust, but he's the only person they can go to. There's a nice overarching framing story of somebody giving a confession to a priest played by Keith David, which was amazing. In fact, the cast in this is great altogether. Anthony Michael Hall plays one of the characters. Craig Schaefer's in there. Josh Charles are the two guys in prison. Giovanni Ribisi makes a cameo in there. So there's a lot of really, really great cast members in here. And there's a really good interview with Keith David as well, just looking back fondly on making this film. But if you like a really, really good crime film, this is a fantastic one. Went in directions I was not expecting at all. Things happen very quickly in this movie, but The Grave, can't recommend it enough. And it is one of the VSA labels, so it has this really nice bottom-loading hard case. Definitely pick this one up. Fantastic movie. And right now, this is getting pretty low. So as of recording, this is at 55 copies. So hopefully I can get this up quick enough, and if anyone is interested in it, pick it up. All right, so this last recommendation, I actually kind of feel bad, and I'm going to say right off the bat, there are no more slipcovers left on this, but there is still the standard edition, and I would still recommend picking it up. And that is the Little Hours, which has a huge cast and is an absolutely hilarious take on one of the stories from the Decameron. It stars, oh my gosh, okay, so let's try to run through this. Alison Brie, Aubrey Plaza, Dave Franco, Nick Offerman has a role in it. Molly Shannon is in it. John C. Reilly. Dave Armisen is one of the most hilarious characters in this. He's got a very small role, but he is in it. Kate McCucci's in it. I'm sure there's a couple of people in it that I'm missing. Nope, Paul Reiser. Paul Reiser's in it. So yeah, absolutely cast. Hilarious movie. So it is that story from the Decameron with the gardener who plays a mute, and then there's all these nuns who are trying to sleep with him. That's kind of the framing. That's the main focus of this. But the real reason to check this movie out is because it is done in such an anachronistic way. The humor is very modern. The dialogue is even very modern. But it just fits this story so well. It is so hilarious. I definitely recommend picking up, even though they don't have the slipcover. You still have this really nice cover inside, and the art is reversible, and it comes with like a couple of these prayer cards inside. So it's still a great release, and I definitely recommend picking it up. The standard edition, there are 288 copies left as of recording. So, so still getting pretty low. Hopefully that slipcover is not a deal breaker, because the movie is well worth a pickup. Okay, so that's it. That's all of my recommendations for this Vinegar Syndrome sale that is running through the 29th. Jump on these films. These are great films. There's a lot of other great stuff on there. So, click around, see what you like, see what hits you. But as usual, eat good food, watch good movies. Please take care of yourself, someone else if you can. And as always, make it good. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.